How's it going, everybody? Nick Daniels here, coming at you live, man, yet again. And today we're talking about a TV show. I know, a little interesting for me. We're talking about Ink Master, season 15 in particular, but Ink Master in general, and just why I think the new seasons are really not that good. So, yeah, let's get into it, no further ado. So I'm a big fan of the show. I've been watching it. I watched every season. I've watched them multiple times, minus 14 and 15, because 15 is currently airing, and I didn't think 14 was very good. So I'm actually pretty active on the subreddit. I know. That's like a life achievement award right there. And I think the opinions I have are pretty shared amongst fans, but we'll just throw it out there anyway. One thing I didn't really do was like read reviews. I do those a lot when I do my dating app reviews. And I did kind of briefly look at them, and at least for season 14, I don't know if it was like IMDb I was looking at, but they were completely bad. So we're just in an intersection. We're all good. Yeah, no, they were really bad. Nobody seemed to be much of a fan of the show. And again, common complaints. So yeah, without any further ado, let's get right into that. So yeah, man, if you're not aware, Ink Master is a reality TV show where contestants, tattoo people, try to win like $100,000, a title of Ink Master. And they get in like Inked magazine, which obviously for a lot of people would be like a huge thing for their career. And obviously the show's had some pretty controversial winners. You know, some mutually hated characters where everybody's just like, all right, I didn't like that guy. You know, JCD, if you know the initials, you know, just as an example. Now in season 13, okay, you had a panel. How it worked out was you had 3 judges. You had a host, right, Dave Navarro, Chris Nunez, and then Oliver Peck. Now, if you're not aware, Oliver Peck faced some backlash because I guess he did some blackface back in the day. I don't really understand why, like back in the day when it was acceptable, it was no big deal. And nowadays, like they find you did it and they get rid of him. But nonetheless, they got rid of him. So he parted out. And then I think Chris left as well. So you had the 2 judges that everybody knew. And then apparently Dave had a long version of COVID-19. So he was like, yeah, it's probably not good. I come back. Yeah, like he's like, okay, so you lost your judges, right? You lost the whole panel that we knew and loved. And the show came back in season 14 with a whole different panel, okay? So the first problem, like they came back with 4 judges in total. So including the host, which was Joel. And it's universally, I think, decided that he's just an awful host. Like, he's just like really, he reminds me of just like cardboard. You know, he's just not interesting. He's not engaging. He doesn't, one second, we're gonna make a cut. All right, like I was saying, so yeah, Joel was just, really flat. And I would have preferred if he actually just remained host and not came in as judging. Now, the reason why I think a lot of people like Dave is, I think he was just really charismatic. You could get behind him. He was interesting. He was fun. But it was also the fact that it was 3, so you'd never have a tie. And he came at it from not a tattooer's point of view, but like a client. Like he's like, okay, I'm going to look at that piece on somebody. What would I think, right? And I like that. Where Chris and Oliver were more of the technical look, right? Like obviously being tattooers, they were like, okay, now we can judge. Another thing is too, was like the guest judging just stopped. And if it wasn't there, it was very minuscule. I actually really liked when they would bring in people of like certain specialities for that week. Like, oh, like this guy's world known for pinups. And you're like, oh, okay, I can get behind that, right? That's really cool. And next week, and then another famous person, even one of them, like sometimes they'd bring on like NFL players, but have got tattooed many times. They even brought on Hugh Jackman for an X-Men challenge. Like super cool stuff, right? And good for the artists too to meet these people. I think really cool overall. We'll have to do another cut in a second here, but don't worry about that. One of the biggest problems I think most people would agree with, apart from Joel, is returning artists. So season 14 did that a lot, and now 15. One second. All right, sorry folks. Anytime I do a cut, it's just usually like someone was like walking right in front of me or something, and it just gets kind of awkward. So yeah, as I was saying, big issue. Oh, hold on here. Thought I had to do a cut. Big issue was, and probably one of my biggest complaints was just returning artists. So yeah, they're bringing back people that have already either won, being DJ, by the way, DJ Tambi, or they're bringing back people that were like extremely close. Now season 14, they brought back like literal winners from the show, right? And again, of course, spoiler alert, DJ wins again. But yeah, so I was like, okay, that's fine. whatever. Like, I didn't like it, but it turned a lot of people off, but I was like, all right, like, I get it. Now, season 15, they brought him in as judges, and DJ came in as a judge, and Ryan Ashley's there, and I'm like, okay, I liked Ryan. Ryan's cool. I like her as a judge. DJ's, that's fine, right? The guy's killing it. He should be a judge, right? And he knows exactly what to do in the competition. And then they just literally do the unspeakable, and they just make it teams again, and they're all coaches. So every episode is literally just them arguing the other team to go down to the bottom and get eliminated. And Christian from previous seasons actually had commented saying that this season was like everybody was just doing exactly what they were comfortable with and nothing out of the ordinary. One character comes to mind, one person comes to mind, Josie, and every episode, I swear to God, I'm like so many episodes into season 15, every episode she just says the exact same lines. It's just like, oh, well, I don't do color. And then, yeah, it's just like, okay, well, I thought the title of Ink Master, and now being, I think it's $250,000, was to be able to do everything. So if you're just admitting you can't do it, you probably shouldn't be making it. A good example of this was Craig in the earlier seasons, where like the guy was crushing it on black and gray, and then he got to color, and he was crushing on color. That's what it was. He was crushing on color, and he went to do black and gray, and he didn't actually do it properly, and they sent him home. They're like, that's your Achilles heel. It's like, you are killing it in tattoos, but with color. Right, not black and gray. So it's really interesting to me that's what's going on. I really think blind critiques needed to stay, and the fact that they're not is bugging me. The judging just, again, feels really bland. Ryan and DJ, I like that they're there, but it's just like, oh, okay, now we got 4 people again, so we can tie judging. None of the challenges, like even some of the artists have been, like on Reddit especially, they've been called out because they're literally just blatantly copying designs, like almost one for one off the internet and just copying them over. And I can understand, like, obviously it's different to tattoo that on someone, but yeah, you're not making a lot of artistic liberties there as well. You're not changing anything really. And I think that's a big issue. But yeah, the returning artists, the teams, just the lack of getting people out of their comfort zone. I mean, you can say like, oh, you don't like the production value. I think the artistry is really good. The fake drama, that's always been a problem though. But yeah, I don't know. And like, you got no Dave, and that's what a lot of people don't like as well. Like, they're like, bring somebody back, right? I always said it too. Like, bring Chris Nunez on Japanese Week. Bring Chris back just for that week, right? Bring him as a guest judge. Be excellent, right? People would love it. Love him or hate him, right? Like, they got on really well. They had a lot of chemistry, like the previous judging, and now it feels really bland. But I think it's the teams. I really think it's the teams again, that it's just this constant problem of like, wow, here we are again. And you're getting people eliminated that probably shouldn't be eliminated. There was one girl, I believe her name was Charlene there. I liked her. I thought she was really good. And then I go on subreddit, and on the subreddit, and they're like, oh my God, like she got sent home for what? Like, really? And I do agree. But that's been a problem, I think, for as long as the show's been around, that they've always had inconsistent judging, kind of. Like, you're sending people home that maybe shouldn't be sent home. A fine example is when you send someone home because they didn't do a challenge. And then, this is a really controversial topic apparently, is Cruzman didn't do a challenge. It was the back of the neck pinup. And the hair was supposed to, like the girl's hair in the pinup, was supposed to actually be the girl's actual hair, right? So it was supposed to connect. And he was like, I think it's a really dumb challenge, so I'm not gonna do it. And regardless of how good or bad his piece was, they were like, you didn't attempt the challenge, you didn't give it a go. And he's like, and the judges made a really good point, in my opinion. They're like, well, everyone else tried, right? And it's like, yeah, some of them didn't do good at all, but they tried, right? They went for the challenge. That's what was expected. And it's like, yeah, you didn't even give it a go. What I think needs to happen, honest to God, for Ink Master to really come back, because I don't think it is right now. That's the problem. I think it's really struggling. And like I said, I don't think I'm the only one that thinks this stuff. I think that blind judging needs to come back, where they sit in the room and they get critiqued all at the same time, and nobody knows like who did the tattoo. Blind judging, no returning artists. Have an odd number on the panel. Again, if you're gonna make it 4, make it that Joel doesn't vote. Make him comment, make him run it, but don't make him vote. Make him be a host, right? Keep him as the host. I have no problems with that. He's not the best host, but and the thing is too, like, Ink Master season 1 wasn't necessarily like amazing, right? Season 1, right? But you gave him a few episodes or a few seasons, and they really got into a gel, right? The production value went up, all that stuff. So I can kind of see where people are like, okay, give them a little break, let them come into it a little bit. But you're now into 2 seasons of this new cast, and it's like, all right, well, we're not really getting anywhere, right? I feel, bring back the guest judging, like, again, bring a guest in if you're going to do that, especially if you're going to keep 4. Like, really bringing that guest judge every week, that would be fine. Really, or make them do the tiebreaker or something. I don't know. I really don't know what to say, but I feel like they're just not going in the direction a lot of fans want, and that's a problem, I know there's been all kinds of ideas on who should judge. I think Christian should be a judge, man. I think he was a great artist, and he clearly calls it like it is, and I mean, you just don't have that anymore. So, I don't know. I think I made the point. It's struggling, but we'll see. Hopefully it comes back. I think it's fine right now, but I think the show could just be a lot better. And if they just listen to the feedback from the fans, I think they'd be killing it, but we'll see. All right. Thanks for watching, everybody.